tale of the tape. Perrella has also fought a high level of competition. He's 30 years old, the older man, the taller man in the ring. These are welterweights, and Perrella is a tall welterweight, 147 pounds at a full 6'1". His two losses have come to top-flight boxers as well. We'll get to all of that, but first, let's get the official introductions with Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Bridgestone Arena here in Nashville, Premier Boxing Champions presents the co-main event of the evening, brought to you by MGM Resorts and Brooklyn Boxing. Judging at ringside, once again, we have David Hudson, Mike Fitzgerald, and Benoit Roussel. All right, fans, here we go. 10 rounds of boxing scheduled in a welterweight special attraction. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring wearing rose gold trunks with white trim, hailing from Casa Grande, Arizona. He weighed in at a trim and ready 145 3/4 pounds. His record stands at 25 wins, 3 losses and 2 draws, with 19 big wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the battle-tested and hard-hitting welterweight, introducing Abelito Ramos. His opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner in this 10-round attraction, entering the ring wearing navy blue trunks with white trim, hailing from Fort Myers, Florida. He weighed in at 146 3/4 pounds with a record of 17 wins and 2 losses. He has 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the all-action welterweight battler, introducing Bryant Goodfella Perrella. And our third man to the ring, the referee in charge of the action, Jack Reiss.
I tell you what, Perrella looks like he came for a job interview. I mean, you can't say he didn't come in dressed properly. He's got a suit and tie on.
Listen, I would have had it so you rip it off.
There we go. All right, so it's sleeveless at least.
Right here.
Again, he came dressed properly for the evening.
What a gentleman.
That's look, not a clip-on tie, an actual shirt. There we go. All right. All right, so now Bryant Perrella's ready to go. He made his fashion statement, clearly. And he'll meet Abel Ramos in the center of the ring.
Over here, please. To me, mouthpiece. Mouthpiece. Trunks are just a little bit high. We'll let them work in here, and yours, same thing. Right at the belly button line, and it's going to come up. I gave you guys both instructions. I just want to remind you to please listen and follow my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Fight hard, fight clean. Good luck.
Joe Goosen, you ever see that? You ever look across the ring and say, hey, that guy's in a suit?
No.
Is that the promoter? Or is that the guy we're fighting?
Listen, this is his place of business.
Yeah.
You know, he's got to dress properly.
You know, Camacho used to come in some bizarre outfits, but they...
Oh, he's formal.
He didn't need a valet to get it off, you know.
Perrella getting his rhythm going, 17-2. Again, his 2 losses, again, top-flight fighters. Yordanis Ugas, that was in 2016, and then his most recent loss to Luis Collazo, who's a very good boxer. He's won 2 straight since then, including a win over Brady Prescott. That's a good win. So Perrella also fighting top-level competition. And as they said at the very top, Abel Ramos, again, you know, battle-tested. A lot of times that's kind of, well, he fights the top guys and he loses. Ramos does have a draw with Maurice Hooker, and against the other top fighters, he's fighting them not just at any time, Joe, but when they are at their best. I mean, Prograis, Baranchuk, Jamal James, all on the way up when he fought them.
And he had a great fight with Jamal James, did Abel. But I got to tell you, right now you got 2 guys that are really in tremendous shape. They're both out to win. They both need to win. It's a turning point in both of these guys' careers. So this is, I think, going to turn into a nice, action-packed fight in the next few rounds.
Perrella, a tall welterweight, 6'1", at Mark Breland's size. You know, Breland we'll see next week with Deontay Wilder. The pay-per-view is next week. Wilder Fury 2. But again, when you have a guy 147 pounds and he comes in 6'1", you're thinking, wait, how's this guy in this weight class?
Remember how thin he looked yesterday and how he looks today?
He looks a lot more energetic now.
Not only energetic, look, he's filled out. I mean, he's put the weight back on.
Well, they said, you know, it's surprising. They said, no, we're going to stay at welterweight. It looked like he was straining. Lennox, what did you think? It looked like he was a little drawn yesterday.
He was a little drawn. I know he had to make some adjustments before the weigh-in, so yeah, I think he had to get rid of a couple pounds, which is not too much, but you know, he still had to get rid of a couple pounds.
The thing is, when you got the weigh-in the day before the fight, you got a day and a half really to rehydrate. You get 5-6 meals in, a lot of liquids, and then you blow back up to when you're walking around weight.
But it can take something out of you, Joe, right? I mean, it's not like it's all for free. There's a cost to it.
No, there is if you're dropping precipitously, but if it's just the last pound and a half the day before your fight, that's not going to affect you.
Speaking of weigh-ins, I'll tell you next week.
Oh boy.
Tyson Fury says he's coming in 270 next. How about that? Why would he do that?
What is he?
Yeah, I mean, I know he can get up to like 50 pounds overweight, but I don't think it's wise to do it for this particular fight.
Says he wants power.
Well, I mean, you know, what equals power is speed and weight. So he doesn't really have to put on any weight to get the power. He already has it because of his size. He's 6'9".
Just one of the many fascinating subplots for the heavyweight championship of the world. Pay-per-view next Saturday night. We're just a week away. We'll be in Las Vegas midweek. Good straight left hand there by Bryant Perrella in the blue trunks.
Yeah, Perella's posing a little problems right now. It's going to take Ramos a little time to get used to this stance that he's in front of, especially a tall southpaw that's moving. He's a good counter puncher. So he's going to have to make moves like that.
Final seconds, round number 1, Perrella and Ramos. The greatest day in racing is back, the Daytona 500, kicking off the 2020 NASCAR season. You can see it tomorrow, 2:30 Eastern, pre-race beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern, the Daytona 500 only on Fox. Here in Nashville, Tennessee, Brian Kenny with Joe Goosen, Lennox Lewis ringside. This is Bryant Perrella in the blue trunks, Abel Ramos in the red and white, round number 2, scheduled for 10. And we expect a pretty good fight, coming off an outstanding fight as well. Diego Magdaleno getting a well-deserved victory over Austin DeLay of Nashville. And the main event is Caleb Plant, also of Nashville, as he makes a triumphant return home, as he comes back to Nashville as the world champion at 168 pounds. That's the main event still on the way.
Perrella is actually boxing backwards now, and you know, he needs that strong jab to keep Ramos away, because Ramos is realizing that, you know, the power's not there, that he can actually step in on him, so he's moving forward, which he's supposed to do.
Lennox, could he also fight taller? I mean, he seems to be bending down to the smaller man's size a little bit, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's better that he bends down a little bit, but not too much. But he's throwing some good combinations, but they're not really holding Ramos away, because, you know, Ramos is catching him on his glove.
Hard right hand there by Ramos as he stepped in. The body shot returning back from Perrella, and a little blood now from Ramos's nose.
See, this is more like Perrella, though. This is what he normally does. He boxes. He's a boxer. He likes to step back, half steps, come back in a counter punch if you fall short with your own punch. But right now, Lennox and I talked about it during the break. Ramos has really got to do this. He's got to get nasty, get down, squat down low, make little left and right jab moves with his feet, you know, get a little tricky. But he's got to, you know, bum rush him a little bit. Because to just take your time and walk a guy like this down, you'll be walking in the punches all night.
Solid work here by Perrella. Throwing body shots, both hands, then going up top. He has won 8 straight since losing to Jamal James. That was in April of 2018, so he's done good work to get himself back into the scene.
Ramos is using that squat to try to slip punches and come out of there with an explosive punch to be able to get close, take a big step in.
Joe, would you keep him at 147? Would you think he'd be more comfortable, bigger, or do you think this is the advantage he has to fight smaller guys?
It's definitely an advantage, but I'd have to be in the camp with him to see how he's losing his weight, whether he's doing it the right way or not, whether he's putting enough rounds in, whether enough road work in, and whether the diet is right. So, you know, I don't know what went on in the camp, but it's certainly an advantage to be 47 at this tall.
I mean, his camp was adamant. They're going to stay at 147. He has that height advantage, and he's making the most of it here in Nashville. This date in boxing history, Leon Spinks took the title from the 36-year-old Muhammad Ali, 1978, at the Las Vegas Hilton. And Leon Spinks, light heavyweight gold medalist, fighting in only his 8th career bout, able to outwork Ali, get the win, became a national sensation. There it is, the cover of Sports Illustrated. For you kids, that was a big deal. It was Leon Spinks winning the heavyweight championship of the world. And then we'd have to say it was WB this, WB. The heavyweight champion was Muhammad Ali, and then it was Leon Spinks. Ali would get the rematch and revenge against Spinks a few months later.
And let me tell you, I wanted Muhammad Ali to win. I didn't want Muhammad Ali to lose at all. And Leon Spinks boxed great in the first fight. He did a lot of work. He was in great shape. But the second fight, Muhammad Ali showed us he's Muhammad Ali.
Las Vegas Hilt, your old haunts, Joe Goose.
One of them. But I agree with Lennox. Boy, that was heartbreaking to see Ali lose that fight, and it was very. We were all very happy when he won the title back. And
when he won the title back, that was Ali's last victory. After that, it was straight to Larry Holmes and then Trevor Berbick. So this was his last win against Leon Spinks. Get heavyweight championship of the world just next week. Wilder and Fury in Las Vegas should be outstanding, and that is what is. Lennox, again, you were the last heavyweight champion. That was it. Then there was, obviously it's splintered off. It's hard to wrap them all up. Vladimir Klitschko was the heavyweight titleist for a good period of time, but this should solidify it. Anthony Joshua, again, he lost his belts. He regained it beating Andrew Ruiz, but this is being viewed as the heavyweight championship of the world.
Oh, absolutely. These are the two top guys in the world. And, they showed it in the first fight. And, we're looking for fireworks in the second fight. Both guys had something to prove, and they have something to go and work on and come back and fight. So this second fight should be a lot better than the first fight.
So that was it was tense, it was dramatic. It was the rise from the ashes. Good there, left hand by Perrella. Obviously Tyson Fury climbing back off the deck. The first fight was a draw. Perrella going to work here on Ramos. Has him pinned up, and a good 1-2 straight ahead.
Yeah, it looked like Perrella caught him with a good right hook that sent him Ramos back reeling into the ropes, and then unleashed a nice combination on him, and has not stopped working since.
Yeah, Ramos needs to be doing a lot more work. I mean, he's waiting for that perfect opportunity. He's getting close to Perrella, but he needs to do a lot more work, as in throwing combinations. And, where's the body punches by him? He's being a headhunter right now.
Perrella is doing good body work here. Consistently going to the body with that left hand.
The other thing you see, that Perella's height and reach is really serving him well. He's throwing punches, and when Ramos starts to counter, he just kind of leans back a little bit or takes a half step back, and has really been dodging a lot of the big bombs that Ramos is throwing.
Perella's trainer saying, look, I know everybody says this, but nobody works harder than this kid. You hear that a lot when you've got a guy, a nice snappy jab by Perrella. But Perrella coming in here ready to go.
Ramos needs to move that head. He's got that head straight in front of him, and he's not moving it.
Main event still to come. Caleb Plant, Vincent Feigenbutz, the super middleweight championship. Big crowd here in Nashville. He'll be greeted warmly. We'll step away. We're back in a moment. The main event is next. Caleb Plant coming back to Nashville, Tennessee. Again, he grew up 30 minutes away. And he comes back here fighting for the first time in Nashville as the champion of the world. IBF super middleweight champion. Widely considered, but considered by many to be the best at 168. Callum Smith, David Benavides also have title belts. And there is Vincent Feigenbutz making his United States debut. He's out of Karlsruhe, Germany. Solid fighter, very strong, and has a high output of punches as well. It should be an interesting clash in the middle of the ring. Coming up next, this is the co-feature, Bryant Perrella and Abel Ramos. Opening up here in round number 4, let's go to Heidi Androl. Heidi?
Thank you very much, Brian. I saw you giving some instructions. What were you telling him coming into this round?
I was telling him to keep the jab pumping, and that when Abel tries to push forward, to meet him with some punches, run him into some stuff, start to take some body shots to him, and just, we're in the breakdown process, just want to keep him breaking him down. We're winning the rounds, and I just wanted to keep him slick behind the jab.
Thanks so much, Kevin. Brian?
David Nolan right there as you saw Perrella getting twisted around. Let's get back up off the canvas. No damage done there. Round number 4 and a decent scrap. And you can see why Ramos is often selected by the top guys to fight. It's just a matter of, Joe, I was asking, like, why do you fight all these tough guys? Like, Yeah, he's fighting one good fighter after another. It's been difficult. I mean, he's had a few extra fights now to try to get his confidence back. He said it's helped him, but man, he's had a high level of competition.
Well, because the payoff is big. You know, you get thrown in there, you get the opportunity, you've got to take it, because there's a great chance you can win the fight if you work hard enough, train hard enough, and prepare well enough. So,
do you know when you have a bunch of good names on your resume, but they're all like, well, he wasn't at his best when he fought him, or he fought him when he was 35. The guys he's fighting, they're all young, on the rise, and future stars. He's fighting guys at all the exact wrong times.
Well, you got to remember, those guys also pick somebody like Ramos as well, though, because they know that he's acceptable to the TV people, to the promoters. He'll always put on a good fight, but the chances are you may have the edge over him.
Right, which is kind of what we're seeing here. Ramos is, can do a certain amount, but Perrella just a bit better. But he'll have to work to get the win.
Yeah, I mean, Perrella's doing a lot of good work right now. He's using that jab great, and he's accurate with it.
Now, we did call a fight with Abel Ramos against Francisco. Oh, he just got hurt.
Hard shot. Perrella now following up. Hit him with that left hand. And hitting him again. Now Ramos clenching, trying to slow the attack.
You know Ramos is hurt because he did hold on to him. That's the first thing he did. I mean, he got concussed pretty easy there, so he's still a little bit wobbly on his feet right now.
Combination immediately from Perrella goes to work. This is his chance. He's got 40 seconds left in the 4th round. Question is, how hard do you press?
I think Perrella's actually surprised that he hurt him a couple of times, and he didn't really jump on him straight away. He kind of took his time, but that's what he needs to do.
Perrella's got 14 knockouts in his 17 wins, so he can punch a little bit. But I got to tell you, Abel Ramos is really bleeding from the nose. And remember the fighter meeting yesterday? He sounded very sick to me. He sounded like he had a bad drop and that he wasn't doing well. Who knows if it's affecting him in this fight?
Final seconds here. Perrella opening up, starting to widen the gap.
Time! Abel.
And Bryant Perrella, he just throws his shots just nice and easy off the shoulder, Lennox.
Oh yeah, I mean, he had the full extension of his power there, and it did affect Abel Ramos. He took a little stutter step there, but this is where Ramos comes back with this great right jab straight on the kisser.
You see why I don't like fighting southpaws too much, really seriously, because those punches come from the opposite side you're used to.
Yes.
And man, that landed flush, both of those. I know you're not really agreeing.
No, I'm saying for the Joe Goosen drinking game involved out there on a Saturday night, boy, just take it easy on all those kids. And if we did that, Joe, I mean, we gotta fly right here. But I'm just saying, I know you have the trainer's background, so you're always looking at, I don't like these southpaws, and here is Perrella, left-hander, making things difficult. Let's go back into the corner and Heidi Androl again. Heidi.
Thank you very much, Brian. Jesus, what did you tell Abel going into this round?
That we have to go to the body on this round. I mean, that was the plan, to work the body, and he haven't done it.
I also saw you maybe implying you wanted more head movement.
Yeah, that too. Defense. You have to work on the defense. He has to get closer into the middle distance. He's staying outside and he's getting hit with those left hands.
Thanks so much, Jesus. Brian, back to you.
Heidi, thank you. Perrella landing a fight-high 23 punches in that 4th round. And once again, he's letting it flow nice and easy. You see right there, does not load up on shots. Nice jab as well. Let's go to Marcos Villegas and see if we get scoring so far. Marcos?
Brian, so far I have it 40-36. It's hard to give Ramos any of these rounds because he's just walking into punches, and Jesus Ramos, his trainer, brought up a good point. He said he does need to work on defense because he's coming forward and trying to be the aggressor, but he just keeps getting caught by Perrella's punches, which is why I've given him every single round so far.
All right, Marcos, thank you very much. 4-zip right now. Joe, you were going to say?
I was going to say what works against a right-hander doesn't work against a left-hander. But to the another point I was going to make, Brian, is that, look, tell me the great southpaws from the 40s and 50s. That's right. You can't think of one. Because you know why? They didn't allow them.
They didn't really?
No.
There's bias against the left hand? Well, no, that's true. There was bias against the left hand.
They would make you turn right-handed.
Interesting.
They wouldn't match you against southpaws back then. So you had to turn right-handed.
Interesting.
Now, we got about 6 of them on the card tonight.
It's a good historical tidbit. You learn something now. And and everybody out there drink. Right. In the fighter meetings, you just make it a point of emphasis. Like, how many southpaws did you face? By the way, Ramos faces his nephew, Jesus Jr., who's 12-0, who's a southpaw. So he does get regular sparring against the left hand.
He does for this fight. He wouldn't spar with him unless he was fighting the left hand.
Okay.
And they'll never go hard on a family member like you would on a left-hander you'd bring in.
You would think it's not like fighting your brother, right? Your nephew, it's different.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Here, Ramos having a decent round as well. Final 30 seconds. He presses forward with the right hand.
He's taking his corner's advice. He's going to the body there and landing a nice right hand right to the midsection.
Ramos with a lot of determination. You can see what's made him a success in the ring, even with some limitations. But he is tough, sturdy, energetic, and able to press forward. The main event is still to come. Main event is next. It's Caleb Plant versus Vincent Feigenbutz. Let's go to Heidi Androl with the champ.
Thank you very much. Well, let's hear, Caleb. You have dreamt of walking into the Bridgestone Arena to defend your title since you were just a young boy. What has this day been like for you?
This is definitely an exciting moment. Like you said, it's been a dream of mine since I was a kid. And but nothing really out of the ordinary. Been relaxed, just calm, eating, drinking, staying off my feet, and just focused on what needs to be done.
What was happening on the car ride over here?
Just got the team in there. We're just resting, relaxing. They know the business at hand. They're focused too. And like I said, just ready to get the job done.
I know you're focused. You're so focused that you actually even changed your phone number. What is going to be key, specifically early, in terms of breaking down Feigenbutz?
Just going out there and being me, being myself. Being Caleb Plant is what got me here. Being Caleb Plant is what's going to keep me here. I don't have to go out there and do anything different. I'm the puzzle to figure out, so he better figure it out quick.
All right, looking forward to it. Thank you, as always, Caleb, for taking the time. Guys, from backstage, we'll send it back to you.
Heidi, thank you very much. That was taped earlier tonight as Caleb arrived here. He's already in a full lather in the dressing room now, and in this co-feature, by the way, Abel Ramos outlanding Bryant Perrella for the first time in the fight. Only 10 punches to 9, according to CompuBox, but that does indicate a slight change in the flow of the fight. A good round for Ramos in round 5.
Yeah, but Perrella is doing the right thing. I mean, he's keeping the distance, which he should, and he's boxing from the outside because, you know, he's got the advantage. And, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And Lennox, too, what Caleb Plant was saying there, that seems to be just good professional process, right? Is that, hey, it's a normal day? What do you think of what Plant has to say?
Oh, yeah, I mean, what he's saying, he's got his head right. He's got his head in it. This is what you need to do. And, you know, if on the ride over, if I was in the car, you know, we'd have to be pumping some music.
Did you?
Yes.
Right, yeah, but you don't get fired up on the way over. You're hours away, right?
Well, look, I didn't say no fired up music, some soft music.
Oh, okay.
Maybe some jazz.
Really?
Yes.
And some country, judging from the way you were playing last night. Round 6 scheduled for 10 against Bryant Perrella in the blue trunks out of Fort Myers, Florida. Has sparred an awful lot with Keith Thurman, former welterweight champion. That's good work. That's a very strong guy, world-class fighter. Abel Ramos in the red and white trunks. And Perrella just mounting up an advantage, though Ramos had a very good last round.
Yeah, Perrella better keep his hands up a little bit because Ramos is still dangerous.
Yeah, he is.
You know, he's throwing that right hand like he means it. So, you know, he's trying to knock him out with that right hand. He's coming looping. If he straightens it out a bit more, he may get better success.
Now, just so you know, for the first minute and a half here, or 2 minutes now, Perrella's really unloading on Ramos and throwing some good combinations on the ropes here. He's been just out-punching him this round and definitely winning this round.
And Perrella right there. And also, like, just changing the pace of his punches too, Joe, right, as we saw right there.
That's right. Oh, he's a clever guy. And Perrella's very calm in there, very relaxed. He's got his eyes wide open. He's fighting a great fight right now against a very, very good opponent.
And I'm surprised at Ramos. You know, with so much experience, he needs to cut off the ring a little bit better than he is. Maybe take that step over with that left foot a little bit more.
You know, the fact of the matter is Perrella covers a lot of ground with those long legs. You know, so it's hard to catch up to him.
Pulling out with the jab, just keeping Ramos at bay. Even if you do that, Lennox, just like a soft jab coming out, just keeps Ramos from rushing in.
Yeah, I mean, you know, every time he throws a jab, Ramos stops in his tracks. When he should, he stops and loads up. by that time, Perrella's moved away.
The co-feature here in Nashville, Tennessee. Big crowd, all waiting for the main event, and Caleb Plant. Back here in Nashville, Tennessee, Brian Kenny with Joe Goosen, Lennox Lewis, Heidi Androl, and Marcos Villegas. Here in Nashville, and there's Bryant Perrella again, winning most of these rounds against Abel Ramos, and we are 1 week away from the heavyweight championship, available on pay-per-view. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. And Lennox, you know one thing I noticed when I was watching the fight again today, just rescoring it, was the roar of the crowd when they were watching on replay Fury getting back up. It was like the roar of a crowd watching a knockout, except they were electrified by a guy rising back up. They couldn't believe the superhuman nature of Fury rising back up after getting starched by one of the greatest punchers in the history of the heavyweight division.
Yeah, they couldn't believe the fact that he got up because it was a great punch, and the way how he went down, it was like he wasn't going to get up. But when he rose, everybody rose with him.
Well put, Lennox. Bring that next week. It's inspiring. Round 7 here. By the way, Joe Goosen and I had, what, about a 40-minute disagreement about the scoring of that fight, which hopefully we can bring out at some point.
Oh, yeah, hopefully we can do that.
Hopefully we can do that off camera. And normally, Joe, you're so right. That's what surprises me in this. Round 7. Perrella doing good work, Ramos pressing forward.
I'll be right again if we talk about it. No, you make some great points, but I'm not going to argue with that. I think we both make some good points, but I think mine are just a tad better.
Of course you think. Maybe you're right. We will see.
We're being a lot nicer on air than we were in the dressing room earlier.
Taking us some time. We need to be separated.
Right. Ramos is doing some good work in there. Yeah. That's because Perella's standing still.
Nice hook there by Ramos on the way in, and Ramos is, I mean, he's not really going southpaw, but he's changing his foot stance a bit as well.
You have to do that sometimes. You have to be awkward with the southpaw, to say the truth. Now that being said, look, this is desperation time for Ramos. I think he's way behind in this fight right now, and he needs to do something drastic here. And he's trying to put the pressure on and trying to make something happen. Let's see if Perrella lets him.
He's doing hard work here again. That was a good body shot that he just landed. Let's go back to Marcos. What do you have, Marcos?
So far, Brian, I have it 59 to 55, even though Ramos is having a very, very good round this round. I gave Ramos the 5th round. Him coming forward and working this way, it's swaying me to give him this round so far, but there's still a minute left. Let's see how it plays out.
So Marcos Villegas has it 5 rounds to 1 so far, but Ramos might be on the way to winning this one. But again, it's been mostly Bryant Perrella getting the better of the action so far.
I agree with Marcos. I think Ramos is having a little bit more success in this round, and Perella's got 1 minute to turn it back around in his favor. If not, this is definitely Ramos's round.
You know, Perrella had a very good amateur career. You can see the pedigree. You can see the way he's able to work. You figure he's a good amateur, and he was. 7 wins, 9 losses. He lost in the Olympic trials 2012 to Errol Spence. No shame in that.
No.
You see, sometimes by Perrella, although he's backing up, but sometimes he needs to stop and throw that right-left just to stop Ramos in his tracks.
20 seconds here in the 7th round. Able to do right that. Ramos, though, just workmanlike. Continues to press and having a better round and trying to pile up some rounds here. Final seconds. Once again, the main event. Caleb Plant, Feigenbutz next. Adam Kovnatsky versus Robert Helenius, live from Brooklyn, New York. And Kovnatsky, very good boxer out of Brooklyn. And he will bring it, and he could be one of the future challengers for the heavyweight championship of the world, which will be decided next week.
Did you happen to see the Errol Kovnatsky fight, Brian?
I don't know if I did. You were in the corner.
Yes, he was. Yes,
but Lennox announced it.
Yeah, it was a great fight.
They broke like 6 heavyweight records. Yeah.
Joe was wearing a mic that time. He was a movie star. He led us backstage. He showed us what
inside access.
Yeah, as a trainer. And his hair never moved.
Bring it up.
He can box. It's on the way up.
He is a monster, let me tell you. It was a great fight. It was neck and neck. It was really good, and he's a heck of a fighter. I'm really anxious to see
He's a good fighter, but I would want him to, focus more on defense. I don't like him getting hit too much.
You're right about that.
8th round here, Bryant Perrella and Abel Ramos. It's been a decent scrap so far, but Perrella getting the better of it, nice and smooth. Ramos trying to make things happen now as he pinned into the corner.
Ramos, no doubt, is the harder puncher in this fight. You know, I can hear his shots from ringside, and you know, anytime he's throwing, he's loading up on his punches.
By the way, yeah, Inside PBC Boxing coming up right after the live local news here on Fox, and that will be interesting. Anything that you can get leading up to the heavyweight championship, because again, we'll find things to agree on and disagree on. It was a controversial decision the first time out, but it's also, again, an immense slugger against a very good boxer. 6'7" versus 6'9". Two large, dreadnought, charismatic heavyweight titleists. It'll be a great pay-per-view next week.
Perrella's doing the right thing. Every time Ramos comes in close, you push him back. Don't let him get that close to you. He's doing the right thing there.
Yeah, he's muscling him real nice when he does go close. And he's catching him with some really nice short shots, Perrella is. So, you know, I got him ahead in this round right now, even though Ramos is trying his best like that to get some shots off. It's just, Perrella's a real slick guy.
Ramos there, unloading. So a good combination, taking a little off his shots, just trying to touch Perrella a little more. Perrella is very good at that. He's just very smooth and fluid. Just the punches coming off nice and loose.
Ramos just walked into 3 different sessions right there. First one he got peppered, second one he got peppered, third one walking in.
And Lennox, just the way Perrella throws the punches, doesn't take great effort. He ate one there. Yeah, doesn't take great effort, so he doesn't expend too much energy.
Right, and Ramos is doing the same a little bit. Plus, he doesn't want to spend too much energy. He's getting tired.
Now, Ramos did land a good right hand right on the ropes. He called it by it. Was thinking with the right hand.
Final seconds of the 8th round. Bryant Perrella looking to get his 18th win. Move back up the welterweight rankings. We'll be back right after this. We are a week away. Lennox Lewis, give me a quick thought on that fight. I mean, just give me something you think would be a better version of the first one, more action-packed, more of the same, or drastically different?
Well, I think it's going to be somewhat of the same fight. I mean, both guys worked hard, and they wanted to win the fight. I thought Tyson Fury boxed well, you know, lacked a little power. I thought Deontay showed great, you know, left-right combinations. Came back with that hook great. And, you know, for this second fight, you know, both worked on different things. And, you know, they're prepared for it. They want to win, and it's going to be a great fight again. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I can't wait.
It is exciting. Tension is starting to build. Abel Ramos able to make things happen here in the 9th round against Bryant Perrella. Ramos now hunting going in, but eats a shot on the way in. You know, we called Deontay Wilder against Luis Ortiz, and I mean, that's really the cautionary tale. He really wasn't Deontay Wilder. I mean, not doing very little in that fight, but one right hand, not even a combination, just one right hand ended the night, and it was emphatic. So that is always there, Joe. You got to give Wilder that.
Well, and it was almost there with Fury in the 9th and in the 12th round. So, you know, he is a devastating puncher, no doubt about it. With Ortiz, it's a different style. That's why he had to be a little bit more deliberative with Ortiz. I think with Fury, he's going to go after him a little bit faster, a little bit harder.
Really?
He's going to be a little bit more accurate.
Well, that's why Fury's talking too, saying I'm going to knock him out in the 2nd round. I know it's just talk, but
I think that's a red herring. I really do. I don't see how. I think what Fury has to do is do what he did last time, but bring some power with it and counter punch more often when he makes Fury miss, or Wilder miss, if he can do it. If he can do that, then I think he'll have some success. I just don't know if he's going to be able to bring that.
What about Deontay's jab? Do you think he needs to...
Fury said he was surprised at just how good the jab was by Wilder and how hard it was.
Good body shot there by Perrella. Ramos really slowing down. He blocked that shot as well. Ramos stopped in his tracks. The other thing too, Joe, just throwing for that fight. I have Tyson Fury winning like 8 of those rounds, and then they were too close. You could make a case the only rounds he lost are the ones that he got dropped in.
Well, you probably scored it more favorably for Fury than the judges actually did, because one judge had it for Fury 114, 112, just by 2 points. But the judge that had it for Wilder had it 115, 111.
I think 114, 112 makes perfect sense.
Okay, well, how about the 113, 113?
I can't account for other people's cards. We get the,
so
we have the benefit of hindsight. We can watch it again and again.
Here's what happened. Throw out the draw. One guy had it for Fury, the other had it for Wilder. The one who had it for Wilder was was a bigger margin than the one who had it.
That doesn't mean anything, Joe.
No, to the judges it did.
No, it didn't. It was a split decision. It was a draw.
Here we go again.
It was a draw. All right, get ready for the final round here. And the main event here, not in Las Vegas yet. Vincent Feigenbutz getting present, being calm. Lennox, what do we make of this? Almost a meditation.
Focus, relaxed, thinking about all the hard work he's done, thinking about what he needs to do in the ring, and you know, he just has to go in the ring and do it.
Feigenbutz there with a little smile at the very end, but trying to stay calm. And Caleb Plant been very professional throughout his whole career, and he knows, you know, a big event like this, to stay businesslike, save your energy. And Heidi Androl is standing by with something on Vincent Feigenbutz, who's making his U.S. debut. Heidi?
That's right, first time fighting here in the United States. He had a tough time finding his own food. He even brought his own water here. I was just back in the locker room, talked to them about their day in comparison to Caleb Plant, who was very focused and with his family. Vincent was out sightseeing today, and he has been eating every single day fish and potatoes for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner, guys.
Okay. Brought their own water. I said, no, we're the good guys. You can trust us. They're like, well, we trust no one. All right.
I was that way. Any foreign place I went, I always brought my own food.
Round 10 here. Final round. Bryant Perrella in the blue trunks. Abel Ramos in the red and white. Bryant Perrella getting the better of it here, but Ramos has made some rounds interesting.
Ramos is fighting this round like he knows he needs a knockout.
You all right?
Yeah, he is plunging in and throwing meaningful shots.
You're good?
Warning there from Jack Reiss. One went low, evidently. But yeah, Ramos getting after it. This is what makes him an attractive opponent, is that he will bring it. Stalking Perrella now.
Perrella's doing the right thing. I mean, I love the fact that he threw a triple jab there.
Good right hand by Ramos.
While he was moving. And he keeps that jab going, you know, he's making Ramos run into that right jab. And it's offsetting Ramos a little bit. And he's punching from different angles as well. I mean, he's throwing a combination, and all three of them landed, and they were all over the place.
His energy is a little lower now than it was earlier, certainly. Fighting 10 hard rounds. Ramos will have to come up with something big here in the final half of this last round.
Stop.
Yeah, that was a great body shot by Perrella, who doubled over Ramos with that left hand to the belly there. I'll tell you, it took a little starch out of the sails, but you know, look, Ramos has given it his best effort here. I just think it's not going to be enough. I think Perrella's really dominated this fight, and as good as a fighter as Abel Ramos is, I just think Perrella really showed his skills tonight, and his southpaw stands to great effect. Yeah.
I tell you, Perrella comes off a third-round knockout over Dominique Dalton, but he was patient even within those 3 rounds. He has different gears. He has a good sense of distance. He knows when to apply the pressure. There's a nice jab from Perrella. So he is a multifaceted fighter. Now, the question is, can he make a climb in what is a very rugged top 10 in the welterweight division? That's tough. He has a loss to Yordanis Ugas, who is in that top 10, but again, he's a talented welterweight.
Ugas is a great fighter, so...
Ramos puts him down! Uppercut out of nowhere!
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You
20 seconds to finish him off.
Come back to me. Come back right now. Let's go.
This could get stopped if Perrella doesn't hear Jack Reiss and take a step toward him. There's 15 seconds left. Ramos never stopped working. And he is close to a knockout here. Perrella does not look good in survival mode. He is wobbly on his feet, and he goes down again for the right hand. 2, 3, he can make it just with this count.
4, 5, get your hands off there. 6, 7, 8. Walk over there and come back to me. Come back.
It's over. Only a few seconds left.
Oh, no.
Out of nowhere. And Perrella's are incensed. Look, it's not Chavez Meldrick Taylor, but if Jack Reiss had just let that go, there was only, what they're saying, 3 seconds left. By the time they even walked toward him, he couldn't have eaten another shot. However, let me jump in right away. Jack Reiss was saying, take a step toward me, and Joe Goosen, he did not look good wobbling away.
No, when he told him to walk away, he walked away, and then he said, now come to me, and he did not heed the instructions, and Jack Reiss waved it off, although just seconds left in the round.
Oh, wow.
But I got to tell you, what a devastating look. We said it, he needed a knockout.
Yep.
He went for the knockout, and he got the knockout.
Right, how often do you see that last part fulfilled? Very rarely. When he needed it, he's desperate, he worked, knocked him down again, but he looks stunned. I mean, this is a stunning turn of events.
Oh, yeah.
An absolute stunner here in Nashville, and Bryant Perrella was 1 second away from a likely victory. There was 1 second left. Now, here in round 12, gets dropped the first time with the uppercut. After that, a right hand. This is still the first knockdown. An uppercut again by Ramos, who we believe needed a knockout to win the fight. And now here the second knockdown. Again, this is the final seconds. And what I had mentioned at the time was just by counting to say 7 or 8, there could be almost no time left. And Bryant Perrella's corner believed there were 3 seconds left. We've asked the timekeeper. She has told us 1 second left. Jack Reiss ends it in his defense. There was that first knockdown where Jack Reiss said, take a step toward me, and I tell you what, fellas, Bryant Perrella barely did that. Reiss thought, let me give him the benefit of the doubt. Second time around, he did not, and he stopped the fight when Perrella did not react properly when he told him to take a step toward me.
That's
there
right.
It is.
That's right. He walked away. Jack Reiss gave him an instruction to walk laterally. He did, and then he said, now come to me, and he didn't respond.
Wow, watch it again. Now watch Jack Reiss. Let's listen in.
4, 5, get your hands off there. 6, 7, 8. Walk over there and come back to me. Come back.
Oh, you know what?
Stumble.
Yeah, he stumbled. He stumbled. He stumbled. That was a disappointment in one sense for Perrella. Yeah.
I'm torn on that. Joe Gibson, what did you think of that? Exactly, because now I'm a big believer in that. Take a step toward me, the safety of the fighter comes first, but he asks him, hey, go to your left, now come back toward me. How much are you supposed to get from the fighter?
Here's the thing. The referee isn't supposed to be concerned with the clock.
Right.
He's supposed to be concerned with the health of the fighter. He was stumbling, he was hurt. Unfortunately, there was 1 second left in the round, but that didn't matter to Jack Reiss. He didn't respond to the command, and he got the call that went against him, and it was a devastating left hand on top of a devastating right hand. The kid was hurt.
Yeah.
Good call.
That's the key point. And that was, again, go back to Julio Cesar Chavez, Meldrick Taylor.
Yep.
It's not the referee's job to say, how much time is left? Is this guy winning the fight? No. You look at the fighter and say, I don't like what I see, that's it. So I think Jack Reiss made the right call. But wow.
Yeah,
I mean, wow, there's 1 second left.
He made the right call, but he wasn't looking at his feet. He looked at the stumble instead.
And the failure to respond.
Yep. Let's get the official result right
Ladies
now.
and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes 59 seconds in round number 10. A referee in charge stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout, Abelito Ramos.
2 minutes and 59 seconds in the 12th round. There you go, TKO. You will rarely see that. Let's go to Heidi Androl in the ring.
Thank you very much, Brian. Well, Abel. Wow, what a comeback there. I know I was speaking to Jesus, and before that round, he said, you got to go for broke. Could you ever expected this ending?
No. I mean, I watched the Chavez Senior against Taylor fight a lot of times, and I never thought I'd be part of it. But you know what? The fight isn't over until it's over. You know, that's the game.
I saw you messing with your hand. I saw you coughing. Were you healthy coming into this fight?
Nah, I mean, I've been sick for 2 weeks already, you know, but I was trying to ignore it. You know, no excuses, you know, I wanted to come here and give it my all.
Well, you definitely did that tonight. Let's speak to a man who I know has disappointment on his face here tonight. 1 second left. You fought an incredible fight. You know, what happened in that last exchange?
I don't know, that was like Meldrick Taylor and Chavez. I mean, it just happened the last second. This is boxing. I don't want to take nothing away from my opponent. You know, he got the job done. I guess he was the better man tonight. I mean,
how rocked were you?
I was a little rocked, but I felt like I was good to continue. But 1 second left, man, 10th round. That's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
We started the fight with 1 second left. In the 10th round, we won every round, and they took it from us with 1 second left.